I'm sure you agree that there's a lot of factors that contribute to our health, our happiness, and our general well-being. And to some extent, those elements likely fluctuate a bit during our life and depending on the stage of life that we're in. Now, I mention this because the Université de Sherbrooke is presently working on a really interesting study, a research project on the social participation of baby boomers. So if you're in that age bracket, well, they'd love to speak to you. Hello again and welcome to About Townshippers. This is where we highlight the English-speaking communities of Quebec's outstanding, welcoming, beautiful, memorable Eastern Townships. Now, Dolores Majón Valpuesta is a postdoctoral researcher at the Université de Sherbrooke, and she's presently involved in a really interesting project which has an interesting title: Research on Social Participation of the Baby Boom Generation During Old Age. Now, she's going to be spending a bit of time with us today to talk about the objectives of the study, but also about the virtual interview process for participants. Now, we're even here today because, well, they're looking for participants. So if you're a Quebec resident, age 57 to 76, the research team would really like to hear what you have to say about the social participation of your generation. Here's our chat. Well, good morning, Dolores, and welcome to About Townshippers.
Good morning, Ed. Thank you so much for your invitation.
Oh, well, this is a really interesting subject, but I am curious, what's the motivation behind doing a study on aging baby boomers?
Well, this study started with my Ph.D. in Spain. I was interested in this generation concretely because of the different advance in terms of social, political, and civil rights of this generation. Could suppose have impact in the way that they understand the social participation in old age. So for the reason, I contact with the professor Mélanie Levasseur de l'Université de Sherbrooke, and thanks of the financial support of LQRV, Réseau québécois de recherche sur le vieillissement, la FADOC, and the Centre de Recherche sur le Vieillissement, we could start this data collection and this research here in Quebec. So that's more or less was the starting of this research.
So now the main axis of this study is social participation of aging baby boomers. But how would you define social participation?
Well, we work with the open and flexible definition of social participation. Maybe could include something like be part of movement who fight for the older adults' rights, or invite your family to share a meal. So, but if we have to concrete different aspects, I would like to mention the definition that Professor Mélanie Levasseur did about social participation, that include things like suppose the interaction with other activities that you can share in the community, but also two aspects. The main aspect as the activities that have meaningful for people and depend on the available time and research. So I think that with this aspect of the definition, we can understand better in terms of what we are speaking about social participation. But like I said, this is something more open and depend on the experience of people of this baby boomer generation.
So it's very inclusive. I mean, from what I understand, it could include, activities like bowling, or whether I go walking with my neighbor, or gardening with my daughter, or spending time at the shopping mall walking with friends, or so it really comes down to the social interaction, right?
Yes, and we are starting our data collection, and because our objective is focused on what is the meaning of this social participation for baby boomer, what is the expectation, the concern about that. And the other two aspects that was very interesting for us is the impact of the pandemic of COVID, and the influence of aspects like gender or vulnerability situation or cultural diversity. For the reason is super important, the participation of the Anglophone English speaker people in this research. We are looking for this profile because we understand that the cultural diversity is necessary to be included in this research. So we are looking for people between 57 years old and 76 years old, resident in Quebec, and mainly the Anglophone, English speaker in this case, because we understand that that community represents an important community of other adults in Quebec. So we want to include this voice in our research.
Okay, so now if I understand correctly, you're for this study right now, and this is why we're talking today, is you're looking for English speakers to take part in this study. So could you briefly explain, well, say for example, I wanted to take part in the study. How would I go about it? And briefly tell us what the study would involve. What would I be doing exactly?
Yes, for people who is interested to collaborate, this collaboration is with one interview, 1 day, an hour will be the best for participant. So we book that day. We do this interview by Teams, by platform Teams, by video call, because we suppose that it's more accessible for people. Maybe you are in the middle of the wood or you are in another city different to Sherbrooke, so you can participate by this video call. Usually it's 1 hour, 15 maximum that we spend in this interview. And I like to say that it's an informal conversation with one of the researchers of our team about the experience, the needs, the opinion, but our experience just now is very good, and people really express very good this experience. So if you are interested in participate, you can contact with me by, I suppose, Ed, you will include my email or telephone number in the screen. So you could contact with me directly and I will call you or answer the email and we can book an interview. But it's only 1 day and 1 hour. The engagement is not more than this.
So when you say 1 day, 1 hour, you mean the interview itself is maximum 1 hour, 15 minutes?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, great. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the word out so that we can get some people interested in this study. So you're looking for English speakers. Now we concentrate on Eastern Townships, but you'd really like us to spread the word, and maybe the people that are watching these videos can even share the idea with their friends or family that are elsewhere in Quebec, right?
Yes, that will be very nice, because maybe there are people who is watching this video and said, oh, but I don't have the age. But you have people around you that maybe is interesting and want to collaborate. The criteria is that these people who is residing in Quebec, that is very important, and between 57 and 76 years old.
Dolores Majón Valpuesta, you are a postdoctoral researcher in health sciences at the Research Center on Aging at the University of Sherbrooke, and you are a Ph.D. from the University of Seville and the Catholic University of Chile. And of course, you play a major role in this study about the aging of baby boomer adults. So thanks a lot for taking the time to speak with us today, and we're going to put the word out, and hopefully you get a lot of calls for people interested in participating in this really important study.
Yes, thank you so much for the opportunity for this channel. And I would like to invite everybody. I think that it's very important have this space to listen to the voice of baby boomer generation, because finally that could be impact in the service or resource for older adults, for our future older adults. So that is, I invite everybody for this research.
Because we all get old at one point, right?
Yes, everybody.
Older. Great. You have a great day.
Thank you, you too.
Take care. Well, as we just mentioned, if you're an English-speaking individual aged 57 to 76 and you'd like to take part in this research project on social participation, please contact Dolores Majón Valpuesta. All their contact details are in the video description, which are either up here or perhaps down here. My name is Ed Humphrey. This is About Townshippers, and we'll see you next time. Take care.